Hey guys, Ricky here with a rare good story about the Catholic Church. And yes, nothing with little kids in it, no Epstein ties, all that weird little area the Catholic Church had there in the early 2000s. We're not going to talk about that. That's a story for a different time. I used to be an altar boy when I was younger, and all I can say about that is, well, you know what? We'll just we just won't talk about that. You know what I mean? No, my time as an altar boy was good. As I got older, kind of still practicing, still believe in the Christian religion, just not exactly Catholic. But I was full blown drinking the Catholic Kool Aid back in the day. So. Not a lot of great stories about the Catholic Church. This one is good. I like it. And it's Iranian, which, if there's one thing that I hate talking about, it's the freaking war in Iran. So this is actually a bright spot. So I do like it when people use their power to speak up and use their platform to say, this is wrong, this is unjust, and I'm going to use my soapbox to tell everyone in my own way that I do not agree with this. I mean, I just had that story last week about Bruce Springsteen doing the same thing, the boss, my boy. So it's a good story. Let's get into this one. This is from the Associated Press. Pope says Trump's threat to destroy Iranian civilizations is truly unacceptable, which it is. So this is written by Nicole Winfield. Pope Leo the we're gonna have to do Roman numerals. XIV. What is that? 14. Pope Leo the 14th. Shoot, damn. Okay, well, don't take my high school diploma away just because I'm thinking that's 14. So Pope Leo the 14th said Tuesday that U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to destroy Iranian civilizations was, and I quote, truly unacceptable, which it is, and said common sense, and said any attack on civilian infrastructure violates international law, which it does, which it absolutely does. In some of his strongest comments yet against the war, the American Pope urged Americans and other people of goodwill to contact their political leaders and congressional representatives to demand that they reject war and work for peace. Today, as we all know, there is this threat against all the people of Iran. This is truly unacceptable, he said as he left his home in Rome. He was referring to Trump's threat that a whole civilization will die tonight. And like I said, saying this, going on that profanity-laced tirade that he did on Easter Sunday is just like, come on, guy. Like, but this is one of my things with, oh man, my scroller just went off on me. Look at that. Let's not go through the comments. So Ricky needs a new mouse. So one of my biggest things with this is conservatives like to use religion as far as they can wield it. As long as they can use religion as a way to take away rights from minorities and take away rights from women and their ability to choose what they want to do with their own reproductive body. Because as mind-blowing as it is for some conservatives to believe, not everyone is a practicing Christian, and even if they are, get out of women's lives and let them do with their own bodies what they want to. Like, crazy thought, but if we're living in a free country, which we are, maybe, just maybe, a woman can choose what she wants to do with her own reproductive health and her health in general and anybody's health. No one gets into a man when he's with with his personal doctor. When we're dropping trial, taking our, physicals, no one gets in the way of us. So get out of the way of a woman. Get out of the way of any of the LGBTQ community, right? Like, the Catholic Church has already accepted, gay and trans people into the church. So they're open-minded. Yet all of these right-wing conservative freaks that just want to demonize people just because, they have a different sexual orientation or different sexual preference than you, not tolerant. And once again, they only use religion as a way to weaponize their terrible, bigoted, racist ideologies. But as soon as it comes to actually practicing the ways in which it is to be Christian, in the ways it is to be Jesus-like, what would Jesus do? They're out. I mean, Jesus used to love partying so much he would turn water into wine. Jesus used to, familiarize himself and be friends with prostitutes, with prisoners, with people that broke the law, with tax people, which tax people at the time were enemy number one, which I understand that within the conservative community, with Republicans, the tax people really are the worst people. They just want no taxes for anybody. But Jesus was the first one to go up on a hilltop, break bread, turn fish into a basket, feed thousands of people, and just spread the message of love thy neighbor. And that is a very Christian idea. And it's only Christian in their eyes when they're sitting at church and they're dumping money into a little basket that they're passing around. But as soon as it comes to actually loving thy neighbor in action and actually doing something for other people, for downtrodden people, for people that are marginalized, that's where they draw the line. So, like I said, it's the hypocrisy of the conservatives that really boils my blood, that I can't. It makes it so hard for me to take them seriously when Republicans want to stand down their soapbox and talk about how good and holy they are, while subsequently making everyone else's lives worse just by existing, just by having such terrible views, and just idealizing people like Donald Trump, like Ronald Reagan, people that actively made people's lives worse, made it harder for us to get an education, made it harder for anybody in my generation to own a house, turning pretty much generations into slave labor. I mean, no opportunity of ever advancing ourselves to the point where we can actually own a home, just creating a work environment where we keep the minimum wage as low as possible. We give you as the least amount of government help imaginable, and make it so hard to advance in education. Let's not give you universal pre-K. Let's not give you universal Head Start. Let's make things as hard on you as possible for you to actually pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And that is so un-Christ-like that it boggles the freaking mind. So I just want to see if there's anything in here, any other quotes that he had. So Pope, and I really hope that's Leo the 14th, and I did get that Roman numeral right, because I mean, like I said, I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, but geez, not getting the Pope's Roman numerical name right is like they're going to come and take my Catholic card away from me one of these days. So he invited all people of goodwill to contact their political leaders and congressional representatives to remind them that attacks on civilian infrastructure are against international law and are a sign of hatred, division, and destruction human beings are capable of, and we all want to work towards peace. Very simple stuff. And like I said, if Jesus came down from the heavens, yes, that would be the rapture. We probably wouldn't want him to come back down right now, although it does feel like we may be in end times already. But if Jesus really did come down just to, bring his sandals, bring the little, fire that was on his heart and it was on his head when he came down, right after Easter Sunday, right? If Jesus came back, and really saw the way things were going, that guy would be a Bernie progressive so bad. He would be looking at all of these crazy religious zealot conservatives and look at them and be like, "What the hell are you guys doing? Did you not read the good word? Like, was I not perfectly clear? I mean, it was very simple. Treat everyone the way you would want to be treated. Love thy neighbor, not demonize your neighbor, not make your neighbor's life worse, not run out the back door with all the money." No, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to go through the gates of heaven. Yet, it's always the Republican conservatives that are always talking about, well, we can't have an estate tax. I mean, what's going to happen? You're going to tax me on more than $4 million and I'm leaving my kids? That's crazy. But what if you win the lottery? You wouldn't want all of your lottery money. You're not winning the lottery, dude. It's not happening. Like, at a certain point, you either are religious and you're going to help your neighbor because it's the right godly thing to do and it's going to earn you heaven points so you can get through the golden gates, or you're going to do the right thing because if you have a neighbor that's happier with their home, you're going to have a better environment. The property values are going to go up. The crime rate is going to go down. People are not going to need to worry about stealing because their lives are going to be so well. They don't want to go to prison. We're not creating a huge population of people that are committing crimes because they can't make ends meet. No, people have better lives. The crime rate goes down. People's happiness goes up. We want people to retire. We want people to die of old age. We don't want people to die just because they don't have access to proper health care. Those ideas are very Christian and Catholic in nature. And once again, if these conservatives had an ounce of common sense in their head, they would see that. They would understand it. They would agree with it. Their pastors, much like here in Texas, we have James Tallarico, who's also a pastor, a Christian pastor, and then also is running for senator and has those ideas of if I am a Democrat and I have these ideas for helping my community because this is what it is to be a good Christian, to be a good man. Conservatives and Republicans are inherently broken and they need to be fixed. And maybe they need to have their come to Jesus moment. But this story made me have my come to Jesus moment, so that's fun. A really long video, so I've been blabbering on for 10 minutes, but it's fun to talk Catholic it's fun to talk theology every once in a while. It takes me back to my old Catholic school days. There was one time that I was teaching CCD, they kicked me out. They kicked me out because my views were a little, a little extreme. But I in inside my heart, deep inside, there's still that little Catholic altar boy in there somewhere. But like I said, we don't talk about that. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, there's a lot more, and they're a lot shorter than this one. So sorry for keeping it so long. Like and subscribe to the 30 subscribers I do have. I love you guys, each and every single one of you 30. And to the 12 people that watched this video, thank you for watching. What would I do without my 12 views? It's almost like I'm just talking into the void in the internet to nobody. But there are 12 of you, so thank you so much for watching, guys.